Have you ever reached the end of the week feeling like you were busy but not productive? Like you checked off a ton of tasks, but somehow the most important one were pushed to the next week? Well, today I am going to show you how to design the perfect week. One where you stay productive, feel energized, and actually enjoy your life. According to a study by the Harvard Business Review, professionals who plan their week in advance recorded high performance and lower stress level compared to those who just wing it throughout the week. So if you want to stop feeling overwhelmed and actually start owning your week, stay with me. By the end of this video, you will have a simple 6-step framework that will help you design a perfect week that maximizes productivity and reduces burnout. Now let's get right into it. The first step is start with your vision. Before something can be achieved, it must first be defined. The most successful people don't just go through the week, they design it. According to research by Dominican University, they discovered that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve it than those who don't. Before you even think about scheduling tasks, let's first define what a perfect week looks like for you. Take a moment to answer these questions. What are the most important things in your life? What do you want to accomplish this week? How do you want to feel by the end of the week? So for you to have a perfect week, you must first start with a vision of how you want that week to look like. Just imagine how perfect you want your week to be. Imagine a week where everything goes according to plan, where you wake up each day with laser focus and get things done. Imagine a week where you overcome all distractions that come your way and find your ways through every obstacles that might come to deter you from your goal. Imagine a week where you finish your work day even before the specific time you are supposed to close, and where you have more free time to do other things that matters to you. Imagine a week where you are able to grow your career and grow your business without sacrificing doing what matters and what you love. Imagine a week where you start with purpose and finish with enough energy and momentum for the next week. So you have to just imagine it, because you can't live in a life or in a week you have not imagined. So it starts with a vision. What is the vision of your ideal week? Imagine if everything goes perfectly well. How do you think you want your week to look like? How do you want each day to look like? So imagine it. Let your imagination come to life. Let it be set on fire, because whatever you imagine, there's great assurance and possibility of it becoming a reality. But before you start designing your week, you must first envision the kind of week you want to have. The point of this is to just design your week with intention, instead of just absorbing and accepting everything that comes your way. Like Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. So the action step is imagine your perfect week and write down your 3 top priorities for the week. It can be in any area of your life. Like a quote I usually say, if you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have any. For example, if you're an entrepreneur, your priorities might be business growth, family time, and self-improvement. If you're a student, your top priority can be study time, social life, and probably fitness. The idea behind it is that imagine the perfect week you want to have and set 3 priorities, major priorities in the major areas of your life that will help you bring it into reality. Step 2 is block out your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables are activities, routines in your life that you can't skip or compromise, no matter how busy your week goes. They are things that align with your core priorities, your well-being, and values in life. Time is your most valuable asset, and if you don't schedule your priorities, someone else will. A study by the American Psychological Association found out that people who plan their week in advance are 50% more likely to follow through on their commitments. So after having a vision for your week, the next thing is that you should block out your non-negotiables. That is the things that must happen no matter what. For me, one of my non-negotiables is that every week I must create and upload a YouTube video no matter what. Another is that I must read at least a book before the week ends. Your non-negotiables can be in the area of your health. It might look like every week I must exercise for at least 45 minutes 3 times in a week. And for some of you that are married, it can be that I will take my wife on a date night every Friday by 5 p.m. Another can be like I will spend the first 1 hour of my day working on my most important priorities for the week. It can be writing a book, it can be shooting a video, whatever it might be for you. And for some of you that love sleeping long hours, you might say that from now on, my priorities or my non-negotiable for the week is that I must not sleep more than 8 hours every night. The idea is that you must treat these non-negotiables like a doctor's appointment. You wouldn't cancel your doctors, so don't cancel on yourself. This reminds me of a quote by Michael Hyatt: what gets scheduled gets done. So an action step for this is block out your non-negotiables on your calendar. That means what are the your top priorities for the week, your non-negotiables, then schedule them on your calendar, block time for them. Maybe on Monday I will do this from this time to this time. On Tuesday I will do this from this time to this time. For example, I'm shooting this video on a Sunday morning and I started by 4 a.m. and I'm still working on it. So these are my non-negotiables. Every Sunday morning, early in the morning before going to church, I must record my YouTube videos. So block out your non-negotiables before anything else. Your non-negotiables are your most important priorities for the week and you must schedule time for them. The third step is plan your deep work and high impact tasks. Now that you have the foundation, it's time to plan your deep work, that is the tasks that move the needle. There is something called the Pareto principle, that is the 80-20 principle, and it's the idea that 80% of your results comes from 20% of your efforts. For example, for a content creator like I am, your deep work is filming and editing your videos. For a student, your deep work can be studying for an exam. And for a business owner, your deep work can be strategic planning and sales calls. This is talking about specific tasks in your priorities that moves the needle and you must schedule enough time for. Research shows that your brain is more active and creative in the early hours of the morning when you just wake up. So schedule your most important tasks, those tasks that move the needle during your peak energy hours when you are more productive and when you are more energized. So for example, I'm shooting this video in the early hours of Sunday morning. I started this by 4 a.m. and I'm currently shooting this video. This is the time that I scheduled for shooting my videos. For example, if I try to practice a skill or learn something new, you can schedule 8 a.m. to probably 11 a.m. for learning and for practice. And like Stephen Covey said, the key here is not to prioritize what's on your schedules, but to schedule your priorities. So this is an action step for you. Identify your top 3 high impact tasks for the week and then block time for it. Schedule it into your calendar. For example, I'm currently working on a project to impact 30,000 young people across 100 schools in 20 states in Nigeria. And I currently have over 400 volunteers. And one of the things I told them for the last week was that I am going to create a plan for the outreach. So I scheduled my Friday for that. And throughout the last Friday, I spent time doing that. That's one of the most important things I did that Friday, and at the end of the day I was able to complete it and share it with them. I ended my week feeling fulfilled because that top priority I had for the week and I scheduled Friday for, I was able to accomplish it. Step 4 is build in flexibility and buffer time. Let's be honest, things never go exactly as planned, and that's why the most productive people build in buffer time. Buffer time are extra time intentionally scheduled in between your tasks so that you can manage unexpected turn of events. According to a study in the Journal of Applied Psychology, employees who schedule short breaks in between tasks are more productive and make fewer errors. So instead of packing your schedules back to back, build in breathing space. I remember there was a time that this is the way I planned my day. From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I will do something, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I will do the next thing, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I will do the next thing, and like that, alright, which is okay to some extent, but there are times that things don't go as planned. The 1 hour I planned for something ended up being extended to the other things I planned. So that's when I learned about putting buffers into my schedules, into my day and planning, and you too can do the same. So your morning buffer can be 15 to 30 minutes to reset before the next task. So you can also have a midweek check-in, whereas in the middle of the week, maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, you will look at your plan and your schedules and adjust for changes. And you can also have a catch-up time Friday, whereby most of the tasks you planned for during the week that hasn't been carried out yet, you will schedule your Fridays to quickly work on those tasks and to make sure they are completed. Remember, don't schedule every minute, schedule time to breathe. And this is an action step. Add buffer time in between major tasks in your weekly plan. Step 5 is make time for recovery and fun. The perfect week isn't just about working hard, it's also about living well. Research shows that break improves productivity up to 15%, and people who prioritize rest are less likely to experience burnout. And what are the ways to recharge? Spend time with loved ones. Just go for a walk. Engage in hobbies, something that you love doing. Remember, rest is not a reward, it's a necessity. And here's an action plan. Schedule at least 1 fun activities in your weekly plan. This to ensure that you have time to recover well before working on another important task. The 6th and final step is weekly reflections and adjustments. Before jumping into a new week, take at least 5 minutes to 10 minutes to reflect on the previous week. High achievers don't just work hard, they work smart by reflecting on the previous week and learning from it so as to apply it to the next week. Like a quote by Socrates, an unexamined life is not worth living. So also is an unexamined week. So during your weekly reflections, ask yourself, what worked well, what didn't work well, and what can I adjust for the next week? Like John C. Maxwell said, reflections turns experience into insight. Here's an action step. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes every Sunday morning or evening to review your week and then adjust for the next week. Also create plan for the next week. And let me just add 2 more extra tips. Energy depletes from morning to evening, so also from Monday to Friday. So schedule your most important tasks for Mondays and Tuesdays because you feel more energized for the rest of the week when you make major progress on Mondays and Tuesdays. So also when you make progress in the early hours of the morning. Also, before you start a new week, ask yourself, what is that one thing I can do such that once I do it, everything else become easier or unnecessary? So which of these steps are you most excited to try? Let me know in the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more productivity hacks. Now go make your next week your best week ever.